Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's right. The first movie somehow made some money, and it was enough to for everyone to come back and make a sequel. But anyway, what is this movie all about? So the plot follows the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom as they confront and later ally with the Silver Surfer to save Earth from Galactus. All right. So, because this movie came out in 2007, it's been a long time. So, because of that, yes, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, there will be spoilers for this movie. I will be diving into the details. So, you have been warned if you have not seen this movie, if this is the first time. So just be careful with that. So, this movie had a lot of complications and conflicts going on behind the scenes. It was a slightly overall this movie, it was it received, a slightly, not a lot, but a slightly improved critical reception from the first film. But it also grossed less at the box office than it did with its predecessor, the first one that came out, the first Fantastic Four movie that came out back in 2005. And there were some, yeah, and there were more and more problems going on. Like, for example, um, they planned on a third movie. A third movie was planned, but due to conflicts with the director, Tim Story, and Jessica Alba, and also the producers having trouble finding a new director for their planned Silver Surfer spinoff, the franchise just ended up in a development hell, and it was rebooted later into the 2015 Fan Four Stick. And yeah, we'll talk about that hot, steaming pile of garbage when we get there. But and then of course Marvel Studios eventually claimed the rights to the characters after the acquisition with Fox. But yeah, so let's actually, before we dive into the movie itself, let's talk about, here's something I did not know about until I looked it up and I read about it, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this actually happened. But it makes sort of sense. But yeah, this is the first time I was reading up about it. This is the first time I've known about this. But yeah, Jessica Alba. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, there were some conflicts going on between the director Tim Story and the actress Jessica Alba, who plays Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. So during the time, during the 2000s, Jessica Alba was a very particularly busy woman, a very busy actress. During the 2000s, appearing in movies like Sin City and then Dark Angel, and then she was casted here as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman. And you know, I you know even though have my problems with the character of even though I have my problems with the character of Susan Storm and Jessica Alba's acting, I do believe that she is, she is capable of delivering a great work, a great performance. But her performance as the Invisible Woman, which is the only thing I know her from. I have seen Sin City and Fantastic Four, the only two movies slash franchises that I know that I've seen Jessica Alba in. But anyway, her wooden performance. She feels very, she has a very wooden performance in the Fantastic Four movies, and Jessica Alba, she herself almost considered quitting acting entirely during the during the filming of a particular scene in, Rise of the Silver Surfer. This was during an emotional sequence. According to according to Screen Rant, this was during an emotional sequence for her character Sue Storm, where the director Tim Story gave some very deeply unhelpful direction about how she should perform the scene. And before I continue, I am reading from Screen Rant, their website. So everything. So yeah. So Alba told, in an interview, that Tim Story, the director of the Fantastic Four movies, critiqued her performance during the second Fantastic Four movie, and that her performance was too real and too painful, and asked if she could, and I quote, "Be prettier when you cry. Cry pretty, Jessica." Tim also suggested she should flatten out her performance, and they could CGI her tears onto her character if needed be. And this made Alba question her abilities, leading her to question, this is what Jessica Alba said, like, "Are my instincts and I quote, are my instincts and my emotions not good enough? Do people hate them so much that they don't want me to be a person?" Thankfully, despite this bad experience, Alba stuck with performing. Alba's work in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is an improvement on Sue from the previous movie, but she still comes off as, but in my opinion, still comes off as wooden. But yeah, it's so, as what Screen Rant says, it's disheartening that Tim Story and probably Fox, the studio behind this, wanted to focus more on Jessica Alba's, beautiful looks than allowing her to flesh out for the entire role. And that's the thing about these two Fantastic Four movies when it comes to Jessica Alba as the Invisible Woman. They just focus so much on, her looks than with her acting and, just giving her any sort of character development. This movie is just filled. So we'll just talk about the bad qualities about this film, and there's a bunch. There's a lot of poor writing. Most of the team is portrayed as, the Fantastic Four overall in these two movies says because there's not a third movie and there will never be a third movie in existence. The team comes off as obnoxious, immature, and idiotic, and the tone is a bit overly cynical and mean-spirited, making it hard to enjoy the film. Like, if you think about the Fantastic Four as a group, they just come off as, either one of what I just said. Just like the first film, it comes off as campy and juvenile, especially with the characters of, like, Dr. Doom and especially Human Torch. Like I said, I love Chris Evans, but I don't love his Human Torch. I really don't. There's too many plots and subplots going on in this film, and it's only 90 minutes, something like that. Like, for example, we got Reed and Sue's upcoming wedding. Like, this movie is so focused on the wedding of the century. Reed Richards and Sue Storm, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, their wedding. We have to focus on that. But also, oh yeah, Silver Surfer is arriving. We have a brand new character, the Silver Surfer. He's arriving and he's causing these anomalies and these alterations on Earth, and he's creating these massive craters too. And also Dr. Doom is back. And also Galactus is getting closer and closer to Earth and preparing to feed on it. And the military is getting involved and trying to, try to be a part of the plot of the movie, and Johnny is getting has after his encounter with the Silver Surfer, he's has this, his powers are getting he's swapped by others. Johnny is being able to swap powers with the others, and there's so many times where the team talks about breaking up. Like, they keep trying to, like, I don't know what's going on. There's like so much shit going on in this movie. And this movie came out in 2007. You know what else came out in 2007? Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 came out in Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007. This movie came out in 2007. Did I say 2003? Oh, no, 2007. I said Spider-Man 3. I'm like losing myself. Spider-Man 3. And I don't care what you say about Spider-Man 3. I only care about what I think. And in my opinion, what I think, Spider-Man 3 is filled with clusterfucks. So many plots and subplots, so many things are going and happening in that movie. The same thing is happening here in Rise of the Silver Surfer. There's like so much shit. You get, like I said, you got the wedding, Silver Surfer, you got Dr. Doom, Galactus, the military, and Johnny is, the Human Torch is constantly like swapping his powers with the others. There's so much shit. I feel like, and the movies, like the wedding subplot, like the wedding itself just comes off as irrelevant. I feel like there's like I just stopped caring. I really stopped caring about the wedding. Like, there's hyping and this wedding up, like, oh god, yeah, it's the wedding of the century. I just stopped caring about it. I'm like, let's just move on. So yeah. Uh I'm just like, just right now, sorry about that. I'm sorry about that pause. I'm just looking at my notes. I said that. Oh yeah, let's talk about Galactus. Let's just why not? Let's just go straight towards, let's surf towards Galactus, cuz get it, Silver Surfer. Anyway, Galactus looks absolutely nothing like his comic book counterpart. In the comics, like, Galactus is this gigantic, like, godlike being, but here he's just a cloud. You know what he reminds me of? Parallax. Parallax is also a cloud. But that movie, Green Lantern, Parallax from Green Lantern, another villain in the shape of a cloud. Fuck. The way they handled Galactus, like Galactus, in the second movie too, Galactus is this giant, like, Thanos level villain. And they're just introducing him so quickly in the second movie. They're introducing this character, Galactus, and also finishing him in just one movie. This is Galactus we're talking about. He is a Thanos level villain. He is so powerful. And they just took care of him like that. Like it was nothing. Jesus Christ. Let's talk about listen, like I said, I have, like I said in the first movie, I have nothing against Jessica Alba, but her performance, her acting in these two Fantastic Four movies are completely wooden, because they're so focused on her physical appearance than with her actual character. She's just eye candy. She comes off as unlikable. Like, I really don't care about this character, Sue Storm, because she is so focused on her fucking wedding than the end of the world. Like, Galactus is coming. Galactus is coming. It's the end of the world, but no, she's like, no, we have to focus on my wedding. And speaking of her actress, and speaking of the actress Jessica Alba, she wears a blonde wig instead of having her hair dye, which is more natural. Yeah, that's right. Jessica Alba wears a blonde wig. You know what else wears a? You know who else wears a wig? Kate Mara, and she also plays the Invisible Woman in the Fantastic. What's with these Invisible Woman actresses wearing wigs? Jesus Christ! In the military, they are portrayed as idiots. They hire Doctor Doom, fucking Doctor Doom, and they literally give him, Doctor Doom, the Silver Surfer's board. Their involvement in this film was so stupid. It was extremely stupid. They're just an obstacle. In my opinion, the military in this movie, they just come off as obstacles in the way of the actual bigger plot, of the bigger picture. You know what I mean? But yeah, and also my last critique with the movie is that the movie never explains Doctor Doom's evil plan or his motivation. I really hate, like I said in the first movie, in my first review of the first movie, Doctor Doom is my number one favorite supervillain. He's my favorite Marvel supervillain. It's not Thanos, it's not Loki, it's Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is my favorite Marvel supervillain, but these movies have done such a shit job. Is it really that difficult to make a good Fantastic Four movie? Seriously. I believe Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, Disney are going to do a great job with their Fantastic Four movie, which is coming soon. But anyway, he's Doctor Doom is supposed to be extremely smart. In my opinion, he's the smartest supervillain in the Marvel Universe. But anyway, in these two movies, he's just a witch billionaire. Like, he's just Norman Osborn he's just an evil Norman Osborn with electricity powers. He's just a witch billionaire with powers. That's it. And like I said, the movie never explains what his evil plan or his motivation is. Like, okay, he kills the general, whatever. He steals Silver Surfer's board. He kills the general. He kills like a couple soldiers. And then like he takes Silver Surfer's board and then he flies off and just he flies out into the night sky and he starts, like fighting the Fantastic Four, and then that's it. He gets his ass kicked, and then that's it. Like, what's his goal? What's his plan? Just to fly around the entire world with this, like, look at me on my surfboard. I'm Doctor Doom. I'm on the Silver Surfer's board. Look at me. I'm like, what's going on? They don't explain. Like, he's just flying around on the Silver Surfer's board. Like, just... But anyway, let's talk about the things that I do like. The CGI, I thought, the effects looked pretty, pretty good. Um, you know, the special effects on the Silver Surfer look pretty good. Um, I thought I thought it was pretty funny, and now that I'm thinking about it, for now that I'm thinking about it, I thought it was pretty funny when Johnny said, I hate to wake up one morning and find out she was killed in a walk slide. I'll show you a walk slide. As with the first film, even though these two movies are really bad, they do carry that lightheartedness and adventurous tone, just like the comics. They really do feel like a family. They really do feel like a family. They're just stuck in these two terrible movies. But yeah. Um, but and I guess the music, and I guess, I didn't know the music was the soundtrack was from John Ottman, who did the X-Men, who composed the music for the X-Men movies, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, so there were only a few things that I liked and a lot of things wrong with this movie. But yeah, so much problem, so much shit going on in this movie. And it's such a shame because I might have, I would have liked to see. I felt like the Silver Surfer wasn't very fleshed out, and I felt like they would have fleshed out more of his character in his own spin-off movie if it had been made, which obviously it hadn't. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this movie. Um, I guess, yeah, I guess I said what I have to say. So if you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to listening to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see all of you lovely people really soon.